What's going on, everyone? Chris from PickDawgz.com. It is Saturday, February 28th, 2026. Got a loaded card of action today. I think it's 143 games in the college hoops card. It's another big college hoops card. But it's only the second to last one before we get into full-on conference tournament action. The teams start dropping like flies. Small NBA card, 13-game NHL card. So plenty of money to be made out there. And I got a couple of great handicappers to help me break down the action and help me and help all you guys make some money today as well. First off, Brian Bittler, how you doing?
Well, can't be too upset. 2-1 yesterday, cashing in my titanium best bet winner on the Cleveland Cavaliers, who scared me. Let that game go to overtime, but still got it done. And I got something else that you don't have here, a gold medal. I got my own gold medal from the hockey team. One day you might get one of these, Chris, but won't be this year.
Now, just do me a favor. Just pull a Kachuk and bite into it. Make sure there's chocolate in the middle, because I think that's just like the other Mickey Mouse gold medals that were handed out in Italy. Yeah, congrats. The U.S. got it, but he said I still stand on business. That game should not have been decided in 3-on-3, but it is what it is. But on location, Jovan Burst. Jovan, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. Burning the midnight oil and whereabouts unknown. You know what I mean? So, looking forward to this big college basketball Saturday. One of the last ones that we have. So, yeah, man, let's get to it.
Yeah, absolutely. I know you gotta get rolling here in a minute. I know you're on location, so we're gonna get you in and out of here quick. But let everybody know, what you got on the board, and then we'll hear about what you got going on over at PickDawgz Premium.
Yeah, so I just wanted to give out a few plays, for the people. Like I said, whereabouts unknown on the road. So, first off, we're gonna start early with Penn State. I know this is a bad team having a bad season, but you look at Iowa. They're 1-3 in their last 4. I could see them stumbling in this one, stubbing their toe against a bad team in Penn State, and Penn State possibly rising to the occasion. The Aztecs of San Diego State, I like them on the road at the pit, behind enemy lines going up against New Mexico. I know New Mexico at the pit, that's the thing. They usually win and cover there. But this year, not so much. I think they're running about like 500 in that spot. And the Aztecs, prior to March, going into March, they're a team that I like to back every single year, basically. So I expect them to, do the thing and, win this one. It's on a 2.5 point spread. I expect for them to get it done. Also, I think I'm gonna fade Clemson. Now, this is a home series between these two. Louisville usually wins at home. Clemson usually wins at home. Something's got to give in this series, and I think that based on current form alone, I gotta roll with Louisville. Clemson is just not a backable team at this point. Now, they can rise to the occasion. I get it. Not no team, especially a team that's a formidable team like Clemson, are gonna just lose forever. But I could see them continuing to stumble and try to find their way, after this game, because I don't think it's gonna be this game. I think that the Cardinals are gonna get the job done. I'm gonna try to get to some later action. Let's see. NCAA against William and Mary. The fact of the matter is, when you're dealing with a NCAA team, they like to cover games. They like to stay in games. And, going up against William and Mary, I think they could do just that at home dog situation. I will be backing the NCAA team. Utah, I will be on Utah now. Utah, they're 1-8 on the road, but at home, I mean, not at home, but in ATS, they're 8-1. So, while they do lose, they do cover on the road. And just on the strength for that, going up against the ASU team, who, they're a good covering team, but that's usually in the dog roll as favorites, not so much. Try to give you one or two more late night. Arkansas and Florida. We just saw Florida come back in the second half against Texas and run roughshod. Now, they just been doing whatever they want to do, double-digit victories. But Arkansas, I want to back Arkansas in this one. Boogie Flan going up against his old team. I think they got the sauce against him. And the guard play over in Arkansas is just better. I think it's going to be a trouble spot for Florida. Give me the points with Arkansas. And also, just to uh, tell you what I got for today. You know what it is. It's Saturday, so it's going to be a lot of action over on this side. Got a 5-pack in the noon time slot, another 3-pack in the 2 o'clock time slot, another 3-pack in the 4 o'clock time slot, and then so it goes for the rest of the night. Got another 3-pack in the mix. So it's a lot of plays over on this side. Jump on something long term.
Definitely check Jovan out over at PickDawgz Premium, and want to make sure he got in and out today. He's got a lot of stuff going on. So, but yeah, make sure that you check that out. Jovan definitely something you go a lot of high volume with on the weekends. It doesn't matter time of year. College football, college basketball. Definitely always a great time to jump on with those long-term passes. Jovan, appreciate you popping on, even on location, and see you potentially tomorrow. If not, we'll see you next weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. One more thing. Last week, had a hell of a college basketball. Saturday went 13-6. Looking to carry that into this Saturday. Locked and loaded on the Saturday slate. So don't rock with me. Something long term.
Definitely check Jovan out over at PickDawgz Premium. Jovan, thanks. We appreciate you coming on. And like I said, we'll see you either tomorrow. We'll see you next weekend.
All right. Have a good one. And let's get this money, fellas and ladies.
Absolutely. Jovan Burt's over at PickDawgz Premium. But get Brian back with me. And we're going to break down the card in a minute. I had a decent day yesterday, personally. 4-2 day. The Ducks managed to come back and rally and pull out the victory there. A lot of people loved the Orlando Tragic, so the song and the dance. So I'm happy. It's a good day yesterday.
We almost saw Western Michigan take out Miami, Ohio.
Ooh, that was my play of the day for college hoops. I was like, you know what? Miami, Ohio, they've started to win 5 in a row. They've started to rattle off some big wins. And I fell into it. I was like, gosh, I should have went with one of my other 2 plays. Akron for me is still. I know Miami, Ohio is the undefeated team, but Akron for me is still the best team in the MAC.
Should be a nice tournament there in the MAC.
Mm-hmm. But this ladder format, where if you're like a bottom seed, you've got to win like 6 games in 6 days to earn your spot in the tournament. So. I guess it's the conference's way. Like I think it was it Jeremy or Costi yesterday that were saying like it's their way of making sure that the best teams go wherever possible. But like the Southland's doing it now, the West Coast Conference is doing it now. Like Gonzaga and St. Mary's needed any more help in that conference. So it's going to be interesting to see how it works. But yeah, definitely going to be an interesting watch to see how these conference tournaments break out. I couldn't get anybody else on the show today, but you know what? You still got Brian. You still got myself. We're gonna still give you a ton of plays, so don't worry. Don't we don't need the slap in the face, but it's okay. We got plenty of action to hold us over today, and we're gonna start with college hoops. We got a full slate of college basketball action. I'm just going to make sure we get this in here, and I'm gonna highlight the banners, the time slots at the bottom of the screen. So if you missed the live watch of the show or whatever, you at least know what time of games we're talking about here. So we're gonna start 12 p.m. to 2:30. I'm just gonna highlight the big games. Brian's got anything else, you can throw that in as well. But yeah, we'll start at 12 Eastern, and we've got start here with Colorado, Houston. We've got Virginia, Duke. Florida State, Georgia Tech, Iowa, Penn State, NC State, Notre Dame, Seton Hall, UConn. We've got Missouri, Mississippi State, Georgetown, Xavier, Louisville, Clemson, Oklahoma State, Cincinnati. We got San Diego State, New Mexico, Vanderbilt, Kentucky, UCLA, Minnesota, Boston College, Miami, Oregon, Northwestern, and keep going, just seeing if there's anything else. That'll do it. So we'll go up to 2 Eastern. I mean, there's no 2:30 games, but yeah, so anything from 12 to 2 p.m. Eastern. Brian, anything you like here?
Yeah, can me and you go back and forth? Since it's just me and you, I'll give a pick,
Yeah,
and you
yeah,
give till we
yeah,
get done with this time slot. I'll start off here with the Penn State Nittany Lions plus the points, one of my hometown teams. I'm not a Penn State fan, but I think Iowa has shown us this season laying points on the road. This high of a number might be a tall task for them here. Not that Iowa's not better than Penn State. I just think that this is a two-possession game. Iowa has big games with Michigan and Nebraska on deck next. So for me, as my first free pick, I'm going to take Penn State.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll with Seton Hall plus the points here. I know that UConn has been crushing teams, but the thing is, here's my problem. Seton Hall has been able to keep games close. They kept the first game close against UConn earlier this season. The last 2 years that Seton Hall has gone to UConn, they've gotten drilled by 30 plus. But the thing is, UConn has had a tendency for the most part to play with their food at home. And Seton Hall plays at such that slow pace that they grind it out. They grind teams down. They try to make it slow. They may play more of a defensive style of basketball. That I think that's going to be their only way to keep this game close. UConn, they just need to get in and out with a victory here. But Seton Hall, I think Seton Hall throws everything at the wall. They're still playing for seeding. I just think this is a case of too many points. I think UConn wins, but I think they win by 11 or 12. I think 13.5, 14, too many. So I'll take Seton Hall plus the points here. Brian, what do you like?
Well, in a rare occurrence here, I'm going to agree with you and take Seton Hall plus the points. Early numbers from BetMGM have heavy action on UConn Huskies. But we've seen UConn take some missteps, and they don't have to blow out the Seton Hall team. So I could definitely see the Pirates, keeping this within single digits here. So I'll take the Pirates and the points.
Yeah, I'm scrolling through here, seeing what else I like. Let me see. I just want to make sure I have the right numbers for this game. Yeah, I'm going to go with the over between Xavier and Georgetown. Xavier, the best over team in the country, or one of the best over teams in the country, 21-7 to the over, 75% over rate this season. These teams play at a fast pace. I think it's just going to be a high score matchup. The first meeting between these two back in December finished 80-77. We've seen Georgetown have some, defensive lapses as of late. Xavier, they've been involved in some track meets. I think it's going to be high scoring. I'm going to roll with the over between Georgetown and Xavier. Brian?
For my last game in this time slot here, I'll take the Missouri Tigers plus any points you can get. Not Missouri Tigers. I'm sorry, Mississippi State plus any points you can get. Mississippi State 13-15, but they are over 500 at home. Missouri struggled on the road. They're off that big win against the Tennessee Vols. I think too many people will be humping up on Missouri here after that big win over Tennessee State. Give me Mississippi State plus any points you can get.
Yeah, the last one I'll give out for this time slot. I'm going to take New Mexico. I'm only going to take them on the money line here against San Diego State rather than lay the 2.5, just in case those points do come into play. But you're still only laying minus 130 with New Mexico. I just don't see a world where New Mexico loses 3 straight games against quality competition at home at the pit. They drilled Air Force in their last home game, so I'm not really counting that. That was almost like a live practice. But they lost to Boise at home in the last home game before that. Lost to Utah State by 20 in a game that I was on New Mexico on. They got drilled. But this is a New Mexico team that's still really coached under Eric Olin. Basically did what he did with UC San Diego and has carried over that success to Albuquerque. I know San Diego State's a really good defensive team. Brian Dutcher teams always are. But I think that San Diego State, coming off the home game against Utah State where they drilled Utah State, took a big step towards winning the Mountain West. I think New Mexico needs it more. I know New Mexico, like I said, hasn't been great in a couple of these step-up spots against teams on their level. But like I said, the pit is one of the toughest home environments in college hoops. They're right on you in that environment. And I think that I think New Mexico gets it done here. So
I'll add another one on.
New Mexico. Go on.
I didn't know we were going up to 230. I wasn't paying attention close enough. I'll take Vanderbilt. I'll take Vandy here on the money line over Kentucky. I know Kentucky's one of those blue blood schools, always gets a lot of betting action. Not much respect here for Vandy, who beat Kentucky head-to-head, 80-55. I know that's a big revenge spot for Kentucky. I just don't think that they can match the talent level here at Vanderbilt, so I'll lay it with the Commodores.
All right. Move on to the 3 p.m. time slot to 6:30 Eastern. A lot of action here. I'm just trying to find my place once again. We've got, bear with me here. There's just a lot of games to sift through. We got Utah, Arizona State. We got South Carolina, Georgia. Kansas, Arizona is one of the big ones here. Texas Tech, Iowa State is another big one. Wisconsin, Washington, Texas A&M, Nebraska, USC, Pitt, Cal. A lot of smaller conferences like SWAC, OVC, some Southland in there as well. BYU, West Virginia is at 5:30 Eastern. Providence, Creighton, Syracuse, Wake Forest, Alabama, Tennessee at 6 Eastern. SMU, Stanford, Oklahoma, LSU, and I said 6:30. Yeah, so TCU, Kansas State will close it out. So anything from 3 to 6:30 Eastern, Brian.
All right, I'll start it off here with the Iowa State Cyclones. It would have been nice to see who Jay had in this game, but I have a feeling he'd go with Iowa State. A big number here given to Texas Tech. They've covered and won 5 of the last 6, so I think that's going to draw in a lot of bettors at this high number. But Iowa State needs to make the case here for the big dance and a number 1 seed and beating Texas Tech by 15-20. That might get the job done here. So I'll take Iowa State, lay the points.
I'll probably throw back to you very quickly in this one because that was actually the first game I was going to roll with in this time slot as well, was Iowa State. I get why Texas Tech's a tempting look as, a home dog catching double digits, but we've seen teams go into Ames and get absolutely destroyed this season, and this is a spot where I think having no JT Toppin is going to hurt Texas Tech. Iowa State, at home, they drilled Kansas. They got the nice win over Houston. There's been a couple close calls like against Baylor, but, Colorado, they beat by 30. UCF, they beat by 30. Historically, teams just go into Iowa State and struggle. And Texas Tech, they went to Arizona State, lost. They did beat Arizona on the road, so that's, something that you can give them. But, again, that was a game where JT Toppin still had 31 points. So, for me, I think the loss of Toppin here is going to be a big deal. Justin's right in the comments. Iowa State and their free throw shooting can be problematic, but that defense, I think, is still legit. And I think that they win this one by 13 points, like 74-61 or something like that, 78-65. So not when I'm rushing to bet, but I do lean. I want to talk about one of the big games, so I'm going to lean with Iowa State there. Brian, what do you like?
Well, another game dedicated to Jay here. I'm going to take the Texas Longhorns plus the points over Texas A&M. Texas got beat on their home floor by A&M, so definitely a revenge spot. Texas probably sitting right on that bubble. They could really use a resume road win here. And Texas A&M, I think they played a lot of cupcakes early to beef up that 19-8 record. I like Texas plus the points.
Yeah, I won't be dead. I won't be caught dead taking Texas. I think they're selling snake oil. I think they're frauds.
Like Team Canada.
Why'd you got to go there?
I'm just
kidding. Go there. I got to be a dick. I'm gonna take Wake Forest lay the 4 against Syracuse at home. You want to talk about a game where bad free throw shooting could be a problem? It's Syracuse. Syracuse still one of the worst teams in the country shooting free throws. One of the worst teams in the ACC shooting free throws. I'm just trying to pull up the number for Syracuse in conference play at the free throw line. Syracuse is actually dead last in the country shooting free throws. They're shooting 63.4%. In conference, it's gotten a little bit better. It's at 68.2, but that's still bottom 5 in the ACC. Wake Forest, not a fantastic team. I know you can probably call into question that Syracuse hasn't lost to bad teams really in conference play. I mean, look at their losses recently. Their last 6 losses in conference: Miami, NC State, North Carolina twice, Virginia, and Duke. So they played a gauntlet, but I still don't love backing this team on the road. And like I said, I think this is a spot where free throw shooting could be problematic, especially with a Wake Forest team that's just outside the top 40 nationally, shooting 76%. They're shooting 77% in conference. So when you're only laying 4, I think that's a reasonable number where the free throw disparity could be enough for Wake Forest to cover here. So give me Wake. Brian?
All right, here I'm going to take the West Virginia Mountaineers plus any points you can get. 3 straight losses and 3 straight non-covers for West Virginia here. BYU off that devastating big-time favorite as a favorite loss to UCF. I just think BYU's toast here, and I think the wrong team is favored. So I like the West Virginia Mountaineers to continue their good play at home, 13-3 straight up. Give me West Virginia.
Well, not to do it again. I'm not gonna duplicate it. I will say I do like that because I think that West Virginia is the better defensive team, and I think with Richie Saunders out, they're just gonna hand more shot attempts to DeBanson. It's going to allow teams to kind of cheat a little bit defensively. And I mean, a Ross Hodge coach defense doesn't need to cheat for WVU. So, but I'm going to go with LSU here. I'm going to take a money line against Oklahoma. Again, you're laying 2, so the line's probably around minus 125, minus 130. But LSU is a team I trust a lot more at home. Oklahoma has been dreadful on the road this season, 2-7 straight up. Now, yeah, they have the win over Vanderbilt. They can hang their hat on that, and they lost by 1 point at Missouri, but they also lost to South Carolina by 9. This is an LSU team. Once again under Matt McMahon, they did not have a very good season. LSU basketball is trying to get back to prominence, but this is at least, I think, a step in the right direction. I mean, the first couple years under McMahon have not been very good. I'm just trying to pull up the records here for LSU the first 2 years under Matt McMahon. Sorry, first 3 years. 14-19, 17-16, and 14-18. And it looks like it's going to be another dreadful conference year. I mean, he only had the 1-500 year in the SEC back in 2024. But this is still a winnable spot for LSU. Like I said, I don't trust the Sooners team on the road. So give me LSU money line. Brian?
Up to and including 6:30, right?
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll take Kansas State here plus the points over TCU. TCU comes in red hot, winners of 5 of the last 6. They covered 4 of 5. Kansas State just 2-8, I believe, straight up last 10. They've missed 2 covers in a row. TCU, though, on the road, under 500, 3-5. I just think Kansas State definitely underperforming this year, considering their talent level. So I'll take K-State plus the points.
I don't really have much else in this time slot, so I'm just going to go back to a question from the comments. Did we do Virginia Duke? No, mainly because I have a premium on the side. But if you're looking for the total, I'd roll with the under here. These are 2 teams that are 1 and 2 in defensive efficiency in the ACC. Both play at a really slow pace. Both teams force teams to play in the half court in ACC play. And I think it's just going to be a lower scoring game than what you would normally think of on the marquee with Virginia and Duke. And, Ryan Odom's got this Virginia team playing great basketball. Like I said, the Duke defense is legit as well. They got a lot of size, so, they can stuff the paint and make Virginia have to take some outside attempts, even though it's kind of what they want to do. But I still think it's going to be a lower scoring game. I think the pace, the tempo, and just the defensive mindedness of both these teams plays to and under. Brian, you got anything else for this time slot?
Nope, I'm ready to shove off.
All right, move on to the primetime action for Saturday's college hoops card, and we got a doozy to close out the card for Saturday. Like I said, the second last big college hoops card of the season. We got Boise State, Fresno at 8. We got Wright State, Northern Kentucky at 7. Oregon State, Santa Clara. I'm listing out some of these West Coast Conference games because there's some decent ones here too. Baylor, UCF, Duquesne, St. Louis, Villanova, St. John's, Virginia Tech, North Carolina, Arkansas, Florida, Ole Miss, Auburn, Nevada, UNLV, Grand Canyon, Utah State, and the big one to close out the card, 10:30 Eastern, UC Santa Barbara. You see her right now. I'm kidding. That is on the card at 10:30, but it's Gonzaga, St. Mary's. Brian, anything else from the primetime action that you like here?
I think the big game here is my Florida Gators against the Arkansas Razorbacks, and I don't think you should let that huge minus 10.5 scare you off from the Florida Gators making a push here for one of the number 1 seeds. I think that number for Arkansas is going to draw in a lot of bettors, both on the money line and plus the points. So for me in this time slot, my favorite free pick would be the Florida Gators laying 10.5.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to roll St. Mary's in this game. Normally, these two teams split every year in the West Coast Conference. Gonzaga's just trying to get there healthy as Braden Huff is still injured. And I mentioned it, Gonzaga now has the number 1 seed locked up because no matter what St. Mary's and Santa Clara did, Gonzaga pretty much owned all the tiebreakers as, they've pretty much been running through everybody almost in the West Coast Conference. And I don't think any of the other tiebreakers were going to matter because after that, after you run through all the tiebreakers, you go down to the net. So Gonzaga, though, has locked up the 1 seed in the West Coast Conference. The only thing on the line for St. Mary's here is a share of the West Coast Conference title and a win in a rivalry game. Do I think Gonzaga is going to take their foot off the gas just to keep it going? No, because they had all the motivation to take their foot off the gas against Portland and beat them by 40, or at least it felt like 40. I don't know. I can't remember what the exact number was to close. I think it was 89. Is it 89-48? I think they beat. No, I'm sorry. I'm talking out loud. I didn't expect you to have it on here. 89-48. Yeah, they beat them by 40. So I just think that St. Mary's, Gonzaga's got St. Mary's attention as they always do, and I think that St. Mary's at home. Like I said, these two teams normally split before the West Coast Conference tournament decides it, and St. Mary's has some motivation here, not just to win a rivalry game, but I've mentioned it's that ladder format now in the West Coast Conference. And while the difference between the 2 and the 3 seed is 1 extra game, it's still 1 extra game. You want that double bye to the conference semifinals. So I'm going to roll with St. Mary's here, plus the 2. I'll sprinkle a little bit on St. Mary's money line, although there's not that much of a price difference between the 2. Brian?
Well, I think maybe hell's frozen over because I agree with another play of yours today, St. Mary's plus the points. I texted Romanelli last night, told him I was super excited to be on St. Mary's probably as a premium pick. I got scared off a little bit by how many games St. Mary's is covering, but they're just very good at home, 16-0, and the early numbers from BetMGM have people heavy on Gonzaga, both money line and spread. So I think if you wait later in the day, you can get St. Mary's maybe at a +3. But for me, I like the Gales plus the points.
Brian, do you have the numbers up in front of you, like the percentages and stuff like that?
Yeah, I just had it a second ago. Yeah, we got Gonzaga coming in on the spread, 71% of the bets, 62% of the money. Then money line, 60% bets, 66% money on the Gonzaga money line. So they're taking both money line and spread.
I was going to ask you for another game, St. John's and Villanova.
Ooh. St. John's coming in here, getting 77% of the bets, 90% of the money, which is huge, but that line's moved 2 points, and they're also commanding on the money line for the big bettors. So,
yeah, and I think the world's on St. John's, and I'm with the world. I'm on St. John's here off of that horrible showing against UConn. But the thing is, with Villanova, I said it in the video for that game. Credit to Kevin Willard for doing a good job of bringing Villanova basketball slightly back already in his first year. But the fact of the matter is, he's not beating the teams that he has to beat. And there's still a lot for St. John's to play for here to keep pace with UConn atop the Big East, mainly because St. John's has a game in hand. UConn only has 2 games left, while St. John's has 3. They can at least try to win a share of the Big East regular season title. And just hold off Villanova here. And the thing is, like I said, Villanova, they played St. John's and UConn 3 times this year combined. They're 0-3 with losses by 8, 8, and 9. So the fact that this number is around 7.5, it feels like this number is right on. But this is a game that I could see St. John's winning by 10 or 11 points until Villanova shows me that they can step up and beat the teams that are above them in the Big East. It's St. John's for me here. So I'll take the Johnnies.
Yeah, definitely not mad at you about that one. No, I just think Villanova are a bunch of Villanova's a little bit soft, so I agree with that one. I like UNLV, the running Rebels, plus any points you can get. I think it's +1. Big time rival matchup. UNLV gets a chance for some payback versus Nevada. Nevada comes in at 19-9, so definitely people be tempted in. Just the people who just look at records here. UNLV 12-15 ATS, so I haven't been covering the spread, but I like them at home tonight late for cover.
All right. Just looking through the rest of the late.
This is unusual for us. Usually we don't give out like
I know.
20,000.
I'm a little bit nervous about that. Man, I want to take St. Louis. I'm a little bit nervous, but you know what? I'm going to just stick with what I know. St. Louis at home, been a wagon, 17-0, 12-4 against the number. Billikens coming off are they coming off they're coming off the loss to Dayton on the road. Last time they played a team on the road and lost, they lost to Rhode Island in that shocker about a week and a half ago. Came back and drilled VCU by 13 points, who was one of the best teams in the conference still. I think coming back home, laying 13.5 against Duquesne, no problem. I think St. Louis wins this one by 20. Like 92-71, something like that. So I'll take St. Louis there. Brian, anything else for you?
The last one I'll go with is the Virginia Tech Hokies plus the points against North Carolina. Carolina coming off a huge win over Louisville and Syracuse. North Carolina has Clemson and Duke on deck next. I don't think they're going to lose this game, but they might be on cruise control here. I think Virginia Tech stays within 2 possessions. Give me the Hokies.
All right. I'll ask this question in the chat. This is something I just thought of. I didn't run this by Brian before we started the show, so I'll kind of put it out there now. Do you guys want us to do the traditional parlay segment where we each give out a parlay, or do you want Brian and I to combine on a parlay, give out like 2 picks each and try to put together a 4-leg and see? Because we were doing this on another show. I think we were doing it where like we each gave out our best bet when it was a small card and we tried to put together. Oh no, it was me, Costi, and Jeremy, I think, and we almost hit. We went like 4 or 5 or something like that. So drop in the comments if you guys want the true like traditional parlay, or if you want us to combine it. We'll see what we can come up with. But all right, we got we'll move to the NHL. Got 13 game card. Let's see. Pull up NHL here. We got, and for anybody asking, the wraparound will be up after the show, as it always is. So it'll be up. Might be cutting a little bit close to that Pittsburgh Rangers game, so make sure that you check it out if you're not going to watch the show, because that is one of the plays I'll be giving out. But we got the Penguins and the Rangers. We got the Bruins and the Flyers. We got the Oilers and the Sharks. The Devils and the Blues. We got the Blackhawks and the Avalanche. The Islanders and the Blue Jackets. We got the Senators and the Maple Leafs. Battle of Ontario. We got the Red Wings and the Hurricanes. We got the Capitals and the Canadiens. We got Buffalo, Tampa Bay. We got the Flames and the Kings, the Predators and the Dallas Stars, and the Vancouver Canucks and the Seattle Kraken. Brian, what do you like here?
Well, let's go back and forth and 1-1. Give out a pick, then back to you. I've been getting burned all year by the Boston Bruins, fading them, and I'm gonna probably get burned again today. I'll take the Philadelphia Flyers at home. Boston not as good on the road, 11-12-4. I just keep waiting for this Bruins team to implode, and they haven't done it. But I think at this number, it's very enticing to take Boston. I'll go the other way and take the Flyers.
All right, just to address the comment section, you guys are giving me fucking nothing to work with. So we're each going to do a 3-leg parlay or whatever we're going to give out, and then just combine the best of both worlds. Do what you want to do with it. That's fine. But let's see here. We've got, what do I have here? I'm going to go with the Sabres plus the 1.5, maybe sprinkle it on Buffalo money line. Fact of the matter is that, this is, yes, Tampa Bay. I got bit with them going with the Leafs against them. And that's all well and good. But the thing for me here is that the Buffalo Sabres are on a roll right now. And this is just too much of a price to pass up. I think this price is Tampa Bay still getting sort of back to being the Vegas of, Vegas, jeez. See, I see Vegas in the comments and my mind immediately goes there. The Tampa Bay of past years where they run right through the Atlantic Division, and the Buffalo Sabres kind of being the bottom feeder. And I think this is just a spot where that price is just, like I said, indicative of old news, not necessarily what's been going on lately. So I'm going to take Buffalo plus a 1.5, maybe sprinkle a little bit on Buffalo money line plus 215. It's a way to look. What do I think about the Sabres to win the East as a long shot? I'm going to be honest. I don't think so. I understand why someone would want to take a shot based on the value of that price. I think it's just a case of Same thing I would say with the Ducks if they make the playoffs. Same things I would say with the Sharks if they make the playoffs. I think it is a good first step for this team to be back. I don't think that they're at the level yet where they would be able to go on a sustained playoff run to make the East. I'm not opposed to anyone taking a shot on the price because hell, that's how you win big bets, and that's how you have great stories. But to me, it just feels like it's Tampa Bay or Carolina. I don't want to say chalk, but yeah. So I'll answer the question on the Red Wings, but I'll let Brian go again here. Brian, what do you like?
It's a weak NHL card other than my premium pick, but I got one more. I'll take the Nashville Predators, a team that close to my heart, against Dallas, who's won 7 straight games. I just think here at this price, I think Dallas is going to have some trouble in closing out this Predators team. So look for Nashville to get a late goal to get the steal the victory.
Yeah, I said I was going to talk about it just because it is an early game. By the time I have the wraparound out, there may not be a whole lot of time to get it in. So if you're here, you're catching a little bit of a benefit. I like the Penguins here on the money line. You're getting a cheap price to fade the New York Rangers, who have been a disaster at home this season. They're 6-15-5. So if I'm doing some quick math here, that would be 6-20, 5-20 would put you at a 20% win percentage. So about 22% win percentage at home this year for the New York Rangers. At Madison Square Garden, yikes. The Pittsburgh Penguins, they're still going to have to live life without Sidney Crosby, but I don't think this is a game where they're going to be tested, and that lack of having your captain lineup is going to be tested. The New York Rangers have clearly waved the white flag. They're saying this is a rebuild. You got guys like Adam Fox who are upset. Not only did they not make the Olympic team, and they're seeing all their buddies and a lot of guys they respect in the NHL go to the Olympics and win gold. You also got to stay home and play for the fucking New York Rangers, who are a disaster and a disappointment this year. So for me, it's Pittsburgh here. Someone's asking again, sorry, about thoughts on the Red Wings. Maybe this March will be different. It'll be different in the sense that they'll be back in the playoffs, probably. But will the result be any different? Like I said, I think it's chalk in the East. I think it's either Tampa Bay or Carolina. I'm going to look at the odds for something, see if it's available right now while we're talking NBA. But I would look at, actually, you know what? Screw, we got a minute. And I've got the odds up right now, so I'm just going to see if I can find it. I would honestly look at Florida to miss the playoffs.
Come on. Now you're just hating on the Florida.
No, I'm being serious, because here's the thing. You can't rely on Sergei Bobrovsky to start every single game. Daniil Tarasov showed yesterday he's a liability. And right now, like, the odds see it too. Florida's minus 425 to miss the playoffs. So there's no value there. I thought maybe that tells you what I think, because I thought the Panthers would be at like a coin flip to miss the playoffs because it's the Florida Panthers. But right now, they're minus 425. I mean, the Leafs are probably there too. So let's not sugarcoat it. I mean, the Leafs have been trash. Yeah, the Leafs to miss the playoffs, minus 1,400. So, yeah, that's bad. Anyways, I'm almost at the point where I think the Leafs have to kind of chalk it up. Fine, I'll give out one more. I'm taking the Leafs tonight. If I get kicked in the nuts again, it may be time to mail it in with the Maple Leafs. This is sort of their last stand in a rivalry game against Ottawa. If you can't get up, you can't win this game, you're cooked. So I'll lean towards Toronto there. But move to the NBA, where we got 5 games on the card. We start with the Charlotte Hornets laying 7.5 against the Portland Trailblazers. We got the Washington Wizards catching 13.5 at home against the Toronto Raptors. We've got the Utah Jazz catching 6.5 at home against the New Orleans Pelicans. And we got the Miami Heat catching 2.5 at home against the Houston Rockets, and the Golden State Warriors catching 4.5 at home against the Los Angeles Lakers. Brian, what do you like?
I like the Hornets, but I keep saying it and they keep cashing. But I like getting points for the Charlotte Hornets. I don't like giving over 2 possessions here. And at 7.5, Portland hasn't been a bad cover team lately, covering 3 in a row and 4 or 5. So for me, and as a free pick, I'll take the Portland Trailblazers plus the points.
Yeah. We're gonna go head to head on this one. I like the Hornets. I think that I think this is a game where I need to check the injury report for the Blazers, see if it's come out. Because this is a game where I really think that if you're missing Denny Avdia, you're missing if you're missing Shaden Sharp, that could come into play here. So Shaden Sharp's out. Denny Avdia is doubtful. Klingon is questionable. If Klingon can't go, that even makes it even worse. Even though Charlotte's not a team with a lot of length, but I think this is a game where this is just what I've always said about the Hornets. As long as you got Brandon Miller, as long as you got LaMelo Ball, this is going to be a team that is going to be hard to take out. If Klingon shifts to out, even more, this line is going to jump. So if you want the Hornets, I would jump on it now. If Klingon plays, I don't think it affects the line that much, to be honest. So I would take the Hornets. I think the Hornets win this one by at least 10. So give me the Hornets in that one. Brian, you like any other NBA?
Oh, let me look here. It's a tough one. I love my premium pick here, but as another one, I'll take the Golden State Warriors plus the points. Maybe I'm a glutton for punishment with the Warriors, but the Lakers just haven't been a great cover team, especially on the road, laying points. They've missed the cover 4 straight games and 6 of 7. So I'm going to take Golden State Warriors here to keep it within a possession. I know if Jay was here, he'd be on the Lakers, but.
No, I don't know if he would be that. It'd be easy to jump on him or jump on him quickly. Maybe, probably would. Let's face it. But I'm with you on the Warriors. If I can't trust the Lakers to beat the frickin' Phoenix Suns without Dylan Brooks and without Devin Booker, why am I going to trust them here against the Golden State Warriors team, who at least looks like they're probably going to get Draymond Green back for this game. At least that's what I was seeing. Let me try to update that before I talk out of my ass. Probable. Kristaps Porzingis is listed as questionable, but that's just like Joel Embiid. Questionable could mean a season-ending injury. Questionable could mean that he plays in the starting lineup tonight. So, no Moss for the Lakers for me here. Give me the Warriors plus the 4.5. And there's really nothing for me there either. So, those were the games that we kind of agreed on today. But Brian, anything else you missed from the card that maybe you just want to go back to, or are you good?
I think I'm good.
Good? Okay. So everybody knows that, we always talk about it. We talk about a lot of free plays in the morning shows and stuff like that. But the plays that we love the most, you can find those over at PickDawgz Premium. Brian, you're still on the leaderboards, crushing the last 90 days, last 12 months. What do you got on the board today over at PickDawgz Premium?
Got back on track yesterday, going 2-1, cashing my titanium. My titanium is 104 and 61, 63% last 165. And this is a rare day where I have 2 titaniums, 1 college basketball and 1 in the NBA. Check it out at PickDawgz.com. Ranked number 1 last 365 days in all sports profit. 2-for-1 capper special with me and Chris, and definitely tear up the month of March.
Absolutely tear it up in the month of March. God damn, the sun's bright today. Holy crap, it's shining off my face right now. Definitely check that out with me and Brian over at PickDawgz Premium, especially like I said, Brian, number 1 last 12 months. And I think that they're going to hit today for sure. I remember when PickDawgz actually cared about putting out quality content and picks. Now it's premiums. We mentioned the premium picks once, maybe twice a morning show. And I'm pretty sure Brian and I gave out at least maybe 20 free picks here. We've still got about 20 free pick videos on our show. Brian, you did you take it to the bank?
Yep. Normally I just do 1 pick per slot, but since it was just me and Chris today, we gave out a lot more than we would normally would do.
Yeah.
Rotation.
I'm going to have my wraparound up after the show. We got Ron's bank shot breakdown.
What about your reach around?
7 free picks in 5 minutes.
Later.
Yeah, 7 free picks in just 5 minutes.
Nice.
And even if we do plug the premiums here and there, we're also plugging the promo code so you guys save money there. I'm having trouble following here. I know he's a troll with nothing better to do with his life than hide behind a keyboard with something that you wouldn't say to anyone's face, but that's okay. It's okay. Still love you all the same. Not really, but that's okay. For me at PickDawgz Premium today, I got my college hoops big bet. It's going off early, so make sure that you jump on that. I've also got my revenge game of the year for college hoops. That's a great play that I love as well. And some NHL plays on the board. Got my NHL power play, got a hat trick. Also, if you hop on long term, I went high volume today with Jovan, but there were just a lot of plays that I just wanted to put on there for long term subscribers. So pair me up with Brian, pair me up with any of the other cappers at the website. Let's make some money. Remember, use that promo code PICK, get 15% off your purchase. And again, I can't stress this enough. If you get a daily package and we don't profit for you, you get a credit. You don't just get left out in the cold. We try to make it right for you guys that are with us. And no, I did not put the Maple Leafs as a premium. I'm not even that delusional right now. But we try to make it right for you guys because we don't want, like I said, we're not trying to have you get left out on the cold. So. And you got a big bet. Yeah, well, that's fine. I'm down 70 pounds, and I'll still probably drop you. So, anyways, let's get to that part of the show, parlay time, because I'm ready for football season because I just punted that guy out of the comment section. What do you got for a parlay today?
I got a college basketball parlay I really like. I like Iowa State, the Cyclones laying 10.5. I like my Florida Gators minus 10.5, and Kansas State plus the points.
All right, remember, everyone, if you want a parlay, you're getting 3 parlays here. 2, 1 from each of us, and then you can combine them together. And somebody said we're not going to finish the NBA slate. We're giving out the games that we like. We have free pick videos for all the games over on our YouTube channel. Jay's going to have the jam session up, I believe, very shortly if he doesn't already have it up now. You can still find coverage. It's just that we're talking about the games that we really like this morning as free plays.
Smaller NBA card today in general for a Saturday.
And it's 5 games, so we're not going to cover every single game as well. I mean, just the long and short of it. For me, for a parlay today, I'm going to go college hoops as well. We're going to go with, let's see here. Sorry, I got to get back to it. Actually, let me write down this parlay. Brian, what was yours again? It was Florida.
It was the Florida Gators, Iowa State, and Kansas State.
I'm just writing this down because I'm gonna put this in. Kansas State. For me, for my part of the parlay, I am gonna roll with. I wish I was better prepared for this. Let's see. I want to make sure that I give you guys the best ones I can. Let's go with. Trying to remember all the plays that I gave out today and which ones I really, really like. St. John's. Laying 7.5. Let's go with. See, I like that Iowa State game too. So I'm not trying to create dead air here. I'm really. It's 143 games. I really want to put something out there.
You should be writing that down on a pad of paper as we go. The ones you really like. That's what I do. And then at the end, I just cross them off, and then I'm ready to go.
Yeah, true. I should. Okay. Let's go with. I said St. John's. Let's go Wake Forest, laying the points. You can also take the money line if playing sort of heavy juices within your wheelhouse is kind of a parlay piece. And let's go one more. I want to go LSU. No, St. Louis. St. Louis. Let me just write that down. So our Brian and I's 6-leg parlay for the day. Florida, Iowa State, Kansas State, St. John's, Wake Forest, and St. Louis. All right. And let me just check one thing before we head out of here. Do they play tomorrow? They do. So, Brian, any final words before we get out of here?
Go Gators.
Absolutely. Everybody, let's make it a winning day. Brian, I'm gonna need you to humor me for about 45 seconds here. If you're coming to the morning show tomorrow, just know that I will be hosting. And this is one game that we will be talking about, one team that we will be talking about. And a lot of folks have been clamoring for it in the comments section. So who am I to not give the people what they want?
Left off. Left off. Orlando Tragic.
can't hear you anymore. What happened?
I'm not talking.
Oh, okay. I was like, what the hell's going on? I can't hear you.
Make it a winning day, everyone. We will see you guys bright and early tomorrow. We will have a video. Thanks to Matt and Tommy. We will have a music video to go along with the Orlando Travis. Yeah. Appreciate each and every one of you. God, that song's gonna get stuck in my head too. All right. See you guys bright and early tomorrow morning. Appreciate you. And let's make it a winning day. We're out of here.